Well, my pretties, Merry Christmas. Well, the day this video is going to get uploaded, it'll probably be around either Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or Boxing Day. Not really too sure. So today, I brought you all a really special Christmas special. And today we're going to be reviewing the Santa Claus Free, The Escape Clause. This one came out in 2006, a few years after the Santa Claus 2 came out. And it's a first sequel to the Santa Claus series. So, with that being said, and that being the case, this film is the first installment of the Santa Claus franchise, which, follows up the Santa Claus from 1994 and the Santa Claus 2. So, of course, we do have Tim Allen, who returned to play as Santa Claus. And, of course, we have Martin Short, who plays as Jack Frost, which I think he's a pretty cool character. Now, I know I originally said I didn't really like this movie, but that was because when I was a kid, I didn't really like it. But I decided, you know what, maybe I should, give this another go. And honestly, this one wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be, that bad or something, but maybe for some people, they wouldn't like it. But with me, it wasn't really that bad. I mean, it could have been better, but of course, that's, how it is. So with this, I'm going to be brutally fair and honest that this story, the movie itself is just a pretty good movie with Tim Allen. I mean, he played in the Santa Claus and Santa Claus 2. This one was definitely a pretty good film, and I personally have to say I had to give this one a second chance. So this one involves Santa Claus as well, Jack Frost in the movie. So of course, Tim Allen and Short had previously worked together in the 1997 Disney comedy film Jungle to Jungle, which, of course, I have not seen that one yet. But, of course, let me get started of this film. And let me get started with what this movie is about and the plot of it, in case of you guys who haven't, who haven't really watched this movie in a really long time. So I'm going to go ahead and, basically review this movie and give it a plot about it, just explain the plot of the movie, explain what it's about. For any of you guys who have not watched this movie in a really long time, and for those who will want a refresher, and for those who have not seen this movie yet. So I guess we can get started with that. So, yeah, apologies for that. That's just my chair squeaking. So, yeah, let's get started with the plot of this film. This takes place 12 years since Scott Calvin took over the mantle on Santa Claus. He's married to Carol Newman, who is now a teacher in the North Pole. On Christmas Eve, she tells the group of young elves a story from her life with Scott expecting their first child. Scott invites his in-laws Sylvia and Bud Newman to the North Pole, along with Scott's ex-wife Laura and her husband Neil with their daughter Lucy and Scott's son Charlie. Well, meanwhile, he is summoned to a meeting of council legendary figures consisting of Mother Nature, Father Time, the Easter Bunny, Cupid, the Tooth Fairy, and the Sandman. However, it's concerning behavior of Jack Frost, who becomes very jealous that he has no holiday or special occasion to his honor because he's been promoting himself as during the Christmas season. So Mother Nature suggests dissensuations against him, as Scott is attempting to get the in-laws to come without revealing that he is Santa. Jack Frost negotiates the light of sentiency to the community service at North Pole, helping Scott and his elves put up various Canadian-themed propaganda, which of course Carol's parents believe Scott is a toy maker in Canada. Scott consents. So, however, Frost's ultimate goal is to trick Santa into re-announcing his position when he is now head elf Curtis advertently reveals the escape clause. Frost eventually sneaks into the hall of the snow globe and steals Scott's one of contains Scott as Santa. If Scott holds the globe and wishes to never be Santa at all, he will go back in time and undo his career as Santa. When Lucy discovers this, Frost freezes her parents and locks her in the closet, and then orchestrates the situations that would make Scott think that he is just pretty much resigned to make things better. However, Frost tricks Scott into invoking the escape clause, and they're both been sent to Scott's front yard in 1994 when Scott caused the original Santa to fall out from the roof and had to replace him. Frost causes the original Santa to fall off the roof and grabs Santa's coat before Scott can, and Scott is sent to an alternate 2006 when he, as the CEO of his old company from the last 12-year business, takes priority over family. So Scott eventually learns that Laura and Neil had divorced and Carol had moved away years ago. So Scott goes to find Lucy and Neil, who are vacationing in the North Pole, which Frost has turned into a theme park. Christmas is now Frostmas, and the elves are miserable, reindeer confined into a petting zoo, and parents had to pay for their kids to be placed on the nice list. So Scott finds Lucy and questions Neil about Laura, and he states that Scott's workaholic absence in Charlie's life put all the pressure on Neil, and Charlie didn't want to be him to be his father, causing the divorce between him and Laura. So Scott eventually confronts Frost and causes a distraction to convince Lucy to steal Frost's snow globe from him, and Lucy throws the snow globe at Scott, but Frost catches it. Scott plays a recording of Frost saying, "I wish I'd never been Santa at all," from the novelty North Pole pen Frost gave him earlier, invoking the escape clause, sending both Scott and Frost back to 1994, where Scott restrains Jack long enough to let his 1994 counterpart get the coat, making him Santa Claus again, sending him back to the present in the original timeline. So Scott reconciles with his family and Jack is arrested by the elf police. He is later reveals he cannot unfreeze his victims unless he unfreezes himself, something he says he'll never be able to do, but Scott convinces Lucy via snow globe that he had given to her earlier to warmly hugging the snowman to give Frost a magic hug to unfreeze and reform him. It works, and Laura and Neil are unfroze, and Frost then becomes a new person. The Canada Rose has dropped, and Scott appears as Santa to Carol's parents. With 2 hours remaining before Santa must leave for Christmas deliveries, that's when Carol goes into labor. And of course, months later, while Carol is talking to the tale to the other students, Scott walks in to reveal their son Buddy Claus, and thus that's how the movie ends. Now, honestly, a lot of people really have to say that a lot of people really did not like this story. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people really just didn't like this story. But to me personally, of course, there is this new sequel television series called The Santa Clauses, which I've not seen that yet, but it's on Disney Plus, so I would have to see that. But honestly, this film honestly was just a really great movie. I personally really liked this special. It was actually a pretty good Christmas special. Like, it's one of those Christmas specials that usually have been good. I mean, Disney's first sequels, I mean, not all of them are bad. I mean, there's just some of them that weren't really necessary. But Toy Story 3 was actually a good first sequel to the Toy Story series. That one I could say Toy Story 3 was definitely a really good movie compared to the first two. This one was honestly a pretty good film, and I personally really liked how everything went well. And the fact that this movie turns out to be, it could have been good and all. I personally really liked this. And it could have been, better. Yes, I mean, there were parts of the movie that it could have been better, but this film wasn't too bad, actually. I thought this was a pretty awesome movie. I really liked the plot of this. I thought it was a really good movie. And, of course, with that being said, I personally really enjoyed the film. So that's just pretty much all I have to really say, but if I'm missing anything, I will let you guys comment that in the comments below if I'm missing anything. But I don't think I would have missed anything as far as I know, so there is definitely that. So, with that being said and that being the case, I personally have to say it's a pretty good movie. I like the first two Santa Claus movies better, but this one was definitely not a bad one. Could have been better, but it was still pretty good. So, with that being the case and with that being said, I'm going to sit here and just say right now, what did you guys think of this Christmas movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this movie a lot better? Feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you want to go follow me on Twitter, link to my Twitter account will be in the About page section, so you guys can go check it out. If you're interested in following my DeviantArt page, link to my DeviantArt will be in the About page section, so you guys can go check that out. Also, if you are interested in subscribing to my backup channel known as Miss Dark Shigo, link to that will also be in the About page section down, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And yeah, if I'm missing anything, please let me know what it is in the comments below. I think I have covered everything, but I'm not too sure yet, but you guys can let me know what it is. And yeah, as always, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching this special. Merry Christmas to you guys. Wherever you're at, if you guys celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. I do appreciate this. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys all in the next video. Peace out, like always. I'll see you all next time.